Hello, everybody, and welcome to our discussion about the solid foundation of all virtues, humility. What is humility? Humility is the quality of being humble. It means putting the needs of another person before your own and thinking of others before yourself. It also means not throwing attention to yourself, and it can mean acknowledging that you are not always right. Humility is shown in the phases of modesty, submissiveness, humbleness, lack of pride, meekness, while arrogance, prideful, conceit, disdain, and vanity are all opposite of the word humility. Let's practice humility. What is true humility? It is seeing ourselves in others who lose their way, in those who seem unlovable from the outside, in those who continue to fall no matter how good their intentions were. Pride is concerned with who is right. Humility is concerned with what is right. Pride destroys. Humility builds. The following shows humility in many forms. Cleaning the bathroom of your office, even though you own the company, is an example of humility. Can you recall him? He is the 40th President of the United States of America. He is Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan, recalling an occasion when he was Governor of California and made a speech in Mexico City. After I had finished speaking, I sat down to rather an enthusiastic applause, and I was a little embarrassed. The speaker who followed me spoke in Spanish, which I didn't understand, and he was being applauded about every paragraph. So to hide my embarrassment, I started clapping before everyone else and longer than anyone else, until our ambassador leaned over and said, "I wouldn't do that if I were you. He's interpreting your speech." A true leader is one who is humble enough to admit their mistakes. A humble leader lacks arrogance, not aggressiveness. A valedictorian who credits his success to his parents and his teachers shows humility. The higher we are placed, the more humbly we should walk. A wise person knows that there is something to be learned from everyone. In the summer of 1986, two ships collided in the Black Sea off the coast of Russia. Hundreds of passengers died as they were hurled into the icy waters below. News of the disaster was further darkened when an investigation revealed the cause of the accident. It wasn't a technology problem like radar malfunction or even thick fog. The cause was human stubbornness. Each captain was aware of the other ship's presence nearby. Both could have steered clear, but according to the news report, neither captain wanted to give way to the other. Each was too proud to yield first. By the time they came to their senses, it was too late. So take note that stubbornness has no place in humility. The table shows the differences between pride and humility. Pride focuses on others' failures, while humility realizes how far they fall short and have overwhelming sense of their need to grow. Pride is self-righteous, overly critical and fault-finding, while humility is compassionate and forgiving. Pride looks at their life through a telescope, but others with a microscope, while humility looks for the best in others. It seeks to win people, not arguments. Pride looks down on those who aren't as spiritual or committed as they are, while humility realizes that only God knows a person's true motives. Pride thinks they know who is truly proud and truly humble, while humility leaves the judgment of the heart in God's hands. Pride thinks everyone is privileged to have them involved, while humility thinks they don't deserve the opportunities that God gives them. The following slides will discuss the 10 characteristics of a humble person. It is observed that the world does not show a lot of humility these days, but pride is all over the place. Research demonstrates that humility is closely related with courage, integrity, strong leadership, self-control, learning, and better relationships. Are you a humble person? Then you are teachable. A humble person is teachable. Humility believes it can always learn from the education and experiences of others. A humble person is a growing person who is quick to read, invite feedback, and ask good questions. True humility is staying teachable regardless of how much you already know. Exercise humility. Keep in mind that there's always someone superior than you. Even a child can teach you something new. A humble person is at peace with themselves and others. Humility embraces contentment and simplicity. It doesn't need to have the nicest or be the best. Humility puts relationship before the need to be right. Humility enjoys balance and harmony. Inner peace is the key. If you have inner peace, the external problems do not affect your deep sense of peace and tranquility. Without this inner peace, no matter how comfortable your life is materially, you may still be worried, disturbed, or unhappy because of circumstances. Take note that humble people are happy people. A humble person is grateful. Humility isn't entitled. Humility believes it doesn't deserve a darn thing and is thankful for the many blessings received in life. A humble person is more concerned about what is right than about being right, about acting on good ideas than having good ideas, about embracing new truth than defending outdated position, about building the team than exalting self, about recognizing contribution than being recognized for making it. Be reminded that talent is God-given. Be humble. Fame is man-given. Be grateful. Conceit is self-given. Be careful. A humble person is slow to offend and quick to forgive. Humility is keenly mindful of the grace it has received and is quick to extend that grace to others. Forgiveness is the best form of love. It takes a strong person to say sorry and an even stronger person to forgive. Whoever has offended you and then approaches you to apologize, humility obligates that you accept his apology, whether it is truthful or not, and that you leave his secret thoughts to God. A person who practices compassion and forgiveness has great inner strength, whereas aggression is usually a sign of weakness. It takes guts and humility to admit that you are wrong. I've made a huge mistake. Apologies reestablish dignity for those you hurt. Letting the injured party know that you know it was your fault, not theirs, helps them feel better, and it helps them save face. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to hurt you. Apologizing helps repair relationships by getting people talking again and makes them feel comfortable with each other again. A sincere apology allows to let people know you're not proud of what you did and won't be repeating the same behavior. That lets people know you're the kind of person who is generally careful not to hurt others and puts the focus on your better virtues rather than on your worst mistakes. Apologizing doesn't mean you're right or wrong. It just means you value your relationship more than your ego. Every day, we are confronted by different issues and challenges. A humble person asks for help. Humility helps us know who we are and who we are not. Humility allows us to live authentically. Humility sees assistance and support as an opportunity to develop and not as a sign of weakness. A humble person treats everybody with respect. Humility teaches us to believe that we are not much better or worse than anybody else. All people have great value, and all people deserve to be treated as such. Take a look at this photo. Real men treat the janitor with the same respect as the CEO. Every job has dignity. Set an example. Treat everyone with kindness and respect, even those who are rude to you, not because they are nice, but because you are. A humble person is patient and doesn't easily get frustrated with the imperfection of others. Humility knows that mistakes and inadequacies are part of life. Humility is tolerant of self and others when deficiencies appear and failures happen. Take note of this. I will forever remain humble because I know I could have less. I will always be grateful because I know I've had less. So be humble and patient in all circumstances of life. A humble person recognizes their own limitations. Humility doesn't have a negative view of self. Humility has an accurate view of self. Humility leads us to the powerful and beautiful place of living out our strength and passions in life. Humility isn't denying our strength, it's being honest about our weaknesses. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. A humble person celebrates the accomplishments of others. Humility sees others as co-pilgrims and collaborators, and not competitors. Humility genuinely rejoices when others prosper and triumph. A negative attitude towards the accomplishment of others can never bring success. A true friend will always celebrate your accomplishments. People only rain on your parade because they are jealous of your sun and tired of their shade. A humble person is open to a deep relationship with God. Humility knows God is the creator of the world and people are the creations. Pride elevates self over God. True humility is honoring God above yourself, understanding your need for grace, mourning over your sin, illuminating God's glory, looking for ways to serve others, ignoring your pride plus Satan's lies, trusting God's plans over your own, and yearning to worship. So, live a humble life that pleases God, not men. If your pride is bigger than your heart, and your ego is bigger than your head, grow up or you will be alone for life. Remember, on the highest throne in the world, we still sit only on our own bottom. Humility is the recipe and the key to succeed. So if a person has more ego, it means that a person has a lesser knowledge, because a person with more knowledge has a lesser ego. Ego kills knowledge, as knowledge requires learning, and learning requires humility. Know that a mistake that makes you humble is better than an achievement that makes you arrogant. So stay interested in your own career, however humble. It is a real possession in the changing fortunes of time. Sir Isaac Newton once said, "If I have been able to see further than others, it is because I have stood on the shoulders of giants." So stay humble. Success without humility leads to bloated ego and eventual downfall. Manage success or popularity through simultaneous nurturing humility. Humility is the wisdom of accepting the truth that you might just be wrong. Accept criticism with humility. Be like the bamboo. The higher you grow, the deeper you bow. Take note that the bamboo that bends is stronger than the oak that resists. How far can you bend your knees to show your humility? Notice that the stiffest tree is the most easily cracked, while the bamboo or the willow survives by bending with the wind. So always practice humility. True humility is contentment. It is a gift. This is Teacher Rose of Woodrose International School, hoping that the value of humility will continue to grow in everyone's heart. Have a great day.